What's going on, YouTube? Back out here in the lab. Finna finally get to my cutting buff. I went and got everything I needed. Got my polisher. Got me a little 2-stage compound and a swirl remover. Got my pad, I got my sandpaper, spray bottle. Got paper for the DA. Got paper for the block. A bucket down there, so I'm ready. Well, shit, I think I'm ready. Guess I'm about to find out, but I done watched a bunch of videos, so I feel pretty comfortable at this point. I mean, if I mess up, I'll repaint this boy. I got a bunch of clear coat left over, so I ain't really worried about it. But it ain't much no way. I got a couple of runs that I've seen, but it's mainly just like a bunch of little bitty dust pebbles that's in my clear coat. That's all I'm worried about, so that shouldn't take too much to fix. So I'm gonna show y'all every single step I go through. Knocking it down. I'm gonna start with some 800 for the runs, and then go all the way up to about 2500 to get everything smooth back out, and then hit it with the compound. So, all right, let's get to it. So I figured I would start with this little small area right here on my trunk lid. In that case, if I do mess up, I can just stop. I can repair this with no problem, but I just leave the car. Like, I have to have somebody else do it if I can't get this cutting buff the way I want it to be. So we're gonna keep it safe and just do this small area here. So I'm gonna start with the 800 because I had a small run that you really can't even see, but it's a little run right here. So I'm gonna knock that down and then move up from 800 to 1000 to 1500 to 2000. So, all right, let's get to it. All right, so I knocked it down with some 800 real quick. And now you can see all my little imperfections, like the little bitty small little dots in the paint. That was the little dust I was telling you about. So now I'm gonna come back through with some 1000, knock it down some more, and then go from there. All right, so I went all the way up to my 2500 grit sandpaper. I got rid of all those little imperfections. So now it's just a smooth surface. So now it's time for the big boy. It's time for the polisher and the compound. So I'm gonna start in a small area, probably in this corner. Just see how this turn out. All right, let's get to it. All right, YouTube, we out here for day 2 of my cut and buff. And I am satisfied with my results so far. I started doing the trunk lid right here and the rear bumper. And look at those results. That is glass house. See that flat reflection? That is beautiful. I am 100% satisfied and no longer nervous. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the car done up. I'm gonna actually show y'all a in-depth video, like the difference between the cut and buff, the wet sand version, and not sanding it down, like, because I didn't have that much orange peel, like I keep saying. It was just a little bit of like dust in my clear coat, so I'm gonna show you the difference. But it's looking good so far. I'm satisfied. Like I said, I went and got me this buffer from Harbor Freight. Spent about 50 bucks on this thing right here, and so far it's worth the money. Like, no complaints. It got the digital RPM adjuster. It go up to 4,000 RPM. I only went up to about 2,000 so far. See that? Yep, so it's getting the job done, baby, so I'm good. All right, so let me show you something real quick. If you look right here on this quarter panel, I had a little run right there. Let me see if you can see it. If you look closely, like right here, it's a little run. So what I'm gonna do is take my 800, I'm gonna sand that down, and then work my way up. 1,000, 12, 15, you know, the usual. So let's get to it. All right, so I'm gonna dry this area off and then go back over it. I went over with some 1,000 grit already, so now I'm gonna just check for my imperfections. See what needs to be worked on some more. See, like little stuff like that. That's all that dust I had in my clear coat. So it should be smooth like this. Like, once I get it like that, I can start going up 1,500 to get rid of these 1,000 scratches, and then 2,000 get rid of my 1,500 scratches. So, but that's my whole point. Now you can see what was in the paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep sanding. All right, I'm all done, so I can give y'all a little preview now. Show y'all what I did. Now you can see the difference between, you know, doing a cut and not doing one. If you can see that line is still there, I already pulled the tape off, but if you look, you see how flat this side is. And you go over here, start to get a little wavy. It's not really that bad. My paint job really wasn't too bad. I was just concerned about those little dust flakes I had over inside the paint. But look at that. Look at that rear trunk and the bumper. Yup. Glass. That's what I wanted to see, baby. So we getting there, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the car finished up. Like I said, I started with 800 grit because I had some a couple of runs. So started with 800, all the way up to 2500. And I was nervous about doing this at first, but now I'm just completely confident. Worked out pretty good. Only thing I would say is just be real careful with your edges when you sanding, because you will cut through. Because what I did was I kind of went around, just put tape around my edges. I really tried to avoid them as much as I could, but you can just do a little quick tape off too. Yep. So I'm satisfied. Got a little more to go, but I'm satisfied at this point. I think when I get through, I'm gonna hit it with this swirl remover. I don't know, this compound was so good, this ultra cut. It was so good, I really don't have no swirl marks in there. I started to get swirls when I came back through with the microfiber. You know, I seen little swirls after doing that, but still ain't nothing really to worry about. So we'll see. I'm just concerned about getting those, getting this paint flat and back to glass. So that's that for now. When I come back with my next video, I'm probably gonna be putting the rest of the parts back on the car. Gotta put the mirror back on and all my side stuff, the little side molding that go down here, the lower ground effects still off. Like that ground effect right here on the bumper. Gotta put the rest of them back on the car. And my gas cap. And then my tail lights, so not much more to go. Alright. Hope y'all might have learned something from watching this, but otherwise, stay tuned. Got a little more to go.